Welcome to another edition of the weekly market analysis here. If you've been following these videos here for the past 5 or 6 weeks, you can see how by just following the chart that we pretty much nailed the market movement on the head here. As the market broke to a new high here a month ago, we talked about a possible rest or even a possible pullback. We mentioned that the market could pull back an easy 400 to 500 points and still be quite bullish. And what we've been waiting for, as we talked in the last video, was just a point where the buyers commit to the long side once again. And so we would want to see a bit of a green bar before we started being aggressive to the long side here in the market. As you can see here, last week was a very aggressive week. Buyers came in with a vengeance here, had some good news, whatever it was, possibly in Europe, or I don't follow the news, so I don't know. I just again watched the chart. And the one thing about this type of bar here, after you put in a very bullish bar like this, it is quite common for the market to have a bit of a rest before we advance higher. So everything at this point should be focused to the long side. Buyers have clearly taken the ball here, and it looks like we're most likely going to finish the year in some very nice bullish territory. Okay, so let's have a look at our bold portfolio here and see what's looking good. Okay. Um, Let's take a look here. First one, as we would mention in here, and again, a lot of these stocks in this bullish portfolio we've had for a while. We're deep in the money on many of them. I've added a few more here for this weekend here. So let's just have a quick look here. Okay, first one being Alcoa here. Been in this a few times here. At the initial entry here, another entry here, and this was the move here that we've seen that pushed up with the market here. And we talked about this Alcoa here still being very bullish, but you have to sometimes sit through the pullback before again, we want the market to push, and then we get some profit taking coming in. And when the profit taking comes in, we want to measure how much is the profit taken, how much retracement do we see from the prior move before buyers really start to commit to this market once again. As you can see, as the market pushed up very nicely. Same with Alcoa. Remember, a good 70-80% of the stocks are going to follow the market, right? So when the market's pushing, we want to find stocks that are going to push as well. Okay. Next stock here, Cephalon. This looks good. Again, this was initial entry here for us, $64. And this looks like it's another one right here. Okay, so you could probably take this over the high of this bar, right? And your stop would then go under the low of this bar. Okay, so Cephalon is a buy above this bar. Okay. Caterpillar, I talked about in the last video here that this was a buy, and hopefully a lot of you guys jumped on board as this thing had a very nice $5 move already. So this was initial entry right here. We talked about it. Here's our breakout we wanted to see. I mentioned it again at this point right here, right? And this was a nice push up here. Okay, so hopefully some of you guys got that. We're in the money, probably a good $5 or $6 at this point. Okay, next stock, CNX. This was our entry right here, 39.51, I believe what it was. Here's your nice thrust up. Here's a little bit of rest. I talked about last week, this stock being very bullish, and to hold it, you can see we've had the nice thrust bar here. So this thing approaching, just about $46. Okay, so another $5 or $6 profit in CONSOL Energy. So that's looking good as well. That's a hold. Macy's. This was initial entry right here above this bar. 23.94 or something. I don't know the exact numbers. This was a place to add right here. This pushed up. We talked about a possible bar here. Now, as I mentioned, there's two places to put your stop in this type of situation. You either take half as it takes out this low bar, and the other half under this pivot. See this tail here? So I'm not sure if you're still in it or if you'd sold some, but excuse me, it still looks higher. If you still hold it, I would put my stop under the low of this bar right here. Okay, so if the market trades under this bar, Macy's trades under this bar, I should say, then look to take some off the table. Okay, still looks very nice. Travelers Company is a new one here. I like this at this buy rate here. Here's your nice move up. Here's your pullback. So here was a nice entry. Nice 4 or 5 week run up. Here's your thrust bar. Here's your pullback. Okay, coming into a bit of support right here, which you can see here right into the river. I like Travelers over 55.50 here. Okay, stop under the low here. Okay, this is going to be your first objective up here. So it looks good. I had Microsoft on our list, and I talked about the possible triple bottom here. This was an entry. We didn't get this entry, but I talked about it. That how I liked it. The market had kind of moved up. Here's your pullback here, and I like this because I was hoping that we'd get a bit of a decent bar here, and this would give us an entry here. But Microsoft, much like the market, very aggressive week here. I typically don't like to take these trades here because if I'm taking it over the high here, which is 27.14 or whatever, my stop's basically got to go under this low. Right, so this is very large bar. Ideally I would like to see a bit of an inside bar. Um, this to me, I mean, it still looks bullish. It still looks like it's eventually should move up into this area, but I prefer a smaller bar where I can manage my risk and load up on the shares a little bit more. But Microsoft definitely looks higher. Guild, I like Guild. We talked about Guild initial entry here. Watching the pullback. Here's your pullback, decent pullback. Somewhat of just about a doji here last week. You can take Guild over this high here. Okay, it's 37.81. Put your stop under this low. Okay, this is going to be your first objective up here, $41 area. Still looks good. Weyerhaeuser, talked about the pullback here, and this looks good. Again, it's kind of already triggered here as we're watching the pullback here. Here's your river. This looks good to go higher. Okay. Once it moves through this area, then target's going to be up here, up in the $20 area. Okay. So that still looks good. Mylan still looks good. First entry here, second entry here, kind of the same as the previous chart that we looked at. It still looks good. I think it still looks higher. You could probably add as it takes out these highs up here of 20.71. If your stop's under here, keep it. You maybe want to move it up under last week's low. Okay. Goldman. I like Goldman right here initially. This is a very nice move. Moved up through all this resistance here. Bit of a nice pullback here. You can take Goldman over this high here. Okay. 164. Put your stop under the low here, 155. Right, first objective right around this area. A second objective up here. Okay, so Goldman looks good to go higher. Verizon here. This was I initially looked at a bit of a short from just being extended here, but you can see it never really fell. It kind of just held, built a bit of a base here, and then we had this last week here where it actually broke down but then closed very strong here. So a bit of a breakdown failure pattern, but you can see the money clearly going into the stock here, and it looks good to go. It may get a bit choppy as it comes up into these highs here. As you can see, these prior tops here, always going to be sellers at the prior highs, so you may see a bit of resistance up here, but again, I'm looking for stocks that look like they're about to push. Okay, the market looks like it's going to surge higher, and I want stocks that look like they're going to surge higher as well. Okay, so Verizon looks good. Next stock here, Bank of New York. We talked about this stock here. Nice big thrust bar taking out all this resistance here. Big thrust bar here. Here's your little pullback. Right, what are we looking for? Buyers to step it up. And here they are, right? Still holding 50% into this power bar. So yeah, I like it. I like it above 28. Maybe 27, 28, 27 entry, and put your stop under this bar's low here. Okay, so it looks good to go. Your objective's going to be up here, 32, 32.50 area. Staples was a buy for us here above this bar here, right? And it's done nice. A couple of weeks we've pushed up quite nice. Again, getting you may see a bit of a surge up, and then it's time for we're going to get some profit taking coming into Staples here. So just be aware. Again, we want to see where price is compared to the river. All right. So if you took some, great. Everything looks good. You're in the money. Another one that I like here is Monsanto, right? I liked it here. You've got your thrust bar down here. You can see here on the big volume, the inside bar. This was a nice move up. Just moves up past this prior high here. And now you've got your pullback here into the river, and buyers are committing here. All right, so this looks like it's about to go. And once you can get through this area here, it's good. This is your first area of resistance back up into this area. But it looks good. Big double bottom here, back up to a prior high, little consolidation, and now we needed to push here. So those were just a handful of stocks I had in the bull portfolio here. One stock I want to quickly just talk about here is a stock that I had recommended as a short, and it was Google. And when I had mentioned this as a short about a month ago, I got a few emails about people saying, "Yeah, you don't know Google. It's a power stock. It's going to $800 a share, and it may." But for me, I'm thinking, this we have a short opportunity here. And back there about a month ago, if you watch one of the videos, I said Google can easily come back into what? The $550 area. And as you can see here last week, what was it? $552, right? And I was recommending a short up here, 620. What is this? $50 to $70 per share retracement, right? How many analysts are predicting a $50 to $70 share drop in Google? How many? Right? How many analysts were out there were predicting a 400 or 500 point retracement when the Dow pushed a new high? Right? None. Right? And this is what I'm teaching you guys to do. Remember, the secret to wealth is just being, if you can figure out where the market's going next week, and then the week after that, isn't that all you need? Right? There's nothing out about Google being a short. Everyone said I was crazy. And what we'd see, a $50 to $70 drop. Some of these stocks that we've been in the last week or two, $5, $6 advances, right? I'm not no Ivy League pencil neck here. I don't know what these stocks are going to do, but I can read the chart. The chart's going to tell me what to do, where to go, keep me safe, right? So take some time, learn what I'm teaching you here, right? I think we've proven this enough for the last 5 or 6 weeks that maybe there's a chance that I know what I'm talking about, right? Possible? Maybe? All right. You guys have a great week. See you next weekend.